Are your videos getting low views? It's not bad luck. It's fixable. And here is what's holding you back. If you want to know, stay to the end to learn what's holding your YouTube channel back, how to fix it with practical solutions, and turn those improvements into consistent growth in views and in engagements. The basic idea we had tonight was to how to fix the zero view problem, which is being faced by many creators. We said zero view, but that also means low views, right? We'll talk about the difference between the two. But zero view means you're getting literally like very little. So we want to increase channel views, participation, and growth. And the way we want to do that is by addressing known problems and providing a workable solution tonight. We started by saying, okay, we understand the problem, but how do we create an event for that? How do we create a live event on that? And basically what we did was we created a title, created a title, right? We asked ChatGPT to act as an SEO expert and identify 3 of the biggest pain point for creator on their 1,000 subscribers. So this is basically for a small channel, right? For example, what are the pain points? Low views, algorithm ghosting, burnout, is to name a few. I'll have a complete list coming up pretty soon here. If you look at the thumbnail that I provided, which is if you're facing something a bit to the left of you, probably to the left of you, I think to the right of me. So, and based on the 3 that I received, I kind of wanted to be based upon a problem plus solution format, right? First, I got a long title, like, as you know, YouTube truncates the title. So I said, like, I made an adjustment, say make it between 30 and 60 character. And therefore, I was able to come up with a smaller title, like Stop Guessing, blah, 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 as you could see on the thumbnail that you're looking at right now. So I say, okay, I give me a couple of requirements. I said it has to be high stake but encouraging. SEO must include keywords such as small YouTube channel. Psychologically, use curiosity gap or negative bias, like for example, stop doing X to increase CTR. And then the formula tonight is why does it work, right? So that was the basic requirement to start with. Then we say from there we selected a title out of the 3, right? And basically we say, we have identified the 3 primary growth killers, like I said earlier. And also it's the fact that it's subscribed on the $1,000, right? So what were those 3? What are another something else that applies to that? Okay, so we come up with algorithm void, impressions flatlining, like you don't have enough impression in YouTube, retention gap, right? Viewers click away early, right? So that could be your video, that could be you. But we're going to talk about those things, right? And the niche trap. That's something that I find myself all the time fighting with. Creating content that is too broad to gain momentum. I have a channel, and what I try to do is stay within my niche, but sometimes my niche has multiple parts. So when I'm talking about, for example, about YouTube and improvement, things of that nature, appears that I'm going a little bit away from my niche. But once you see my video that I actually kind of put them all together, we kind of have a emotional arc, a Marine Corps arc that I'm able to kind of tap into. And when I'm doing my video, I'm able to get the information that I put together and I type those arc and I'm able to blend it into my niche. It's called like niche bending. But sometimes because I do that, it appears that, at least to the algorithm, that my stuff might be kind of broad. Sometimes I get that comments, but I try to be consistent in what I do. Um, my channel is about, my niche is about veterans, hunger elimination, so to speak, to put it in broad terms. But I do blend it with cybersecurity and with YouTube learning, right? So, and I bounce between those three because I find that staying in one niche and one content, one set of content, sort of, you are somewhat limited. But the question becomes, does that bring my niche? Does that make it too broad for me to gain momentum? And so that's something that you as a creator need to look at your niche, right? So the example that I was given, if today I post a video about veterans, tomorrow about cooking, and the next day about space, does that really, are they even related? I should find a niche, a way to connect all of the pieces, right? They will appear to be not related, right? So you'll be trapped into either putting things together for your niche that may not get you enough impression and may not get you enough views to achieve your goal, or you have to move on. So that's one of the biggest traps that you have to look at when you're doing your niche. And a lot of people talk about that. So be aware of that, right? One of the first problems that we discussed is that we need to stop guessing why small YouTube channels has 0 view and how to fix it, right? Which is sort of like the title of tonight, and that's for the live show. I have a smaller title, says "Stop Guessing, Fix 0 View on Your Small Channel," which potentially I could use for my thumbnail for my title for a video that I'm going to create as a result of what's going on here tonight, right? The question is, why would that work? So the title utilizes what's called negative bias. Example, "Stop Guessing," and addresses a universal fear, getting 0 view. We all, as creators, want to be sure that, oh, my video is going to blow up tonight. I'm going to get millions of views. And then you post it, and what happens? Oops, you only get a few views. So that's a fear that we as creators face all the time. The next one is positioning the solution of a how-to solution, right? So if you look at the title, we are saying we're going to tell you how to fix the problem. So, and that creates a curiosity gap that promises an immediate actionable fix for the algorithm boys. So not only are we saying tonight we have a problem, which all of us know what the problems are, but we have solutions. So tonight I plan to look at those and at the series of problems, and then provide solutions that are equitable for what we work. So the question that I often ask myself, why most small creators like myself are doing 5 jobs without pay, right? Why do we do it? We should love it. But let's look at the problem. What are the problems, right? What are the problems? The small channels, and by small channel, let me define what I'm talking about. Channels that have 0 to 100,000 subscribers. I think those are traditionally called small channels. Big channel like Mr. Beast that has millions or billions of views and subscribers obviously are at the other end of the spectrum. You're not expected to be there. This is for smaller channels. So if you have a small channel, you might benefit from the things that I'm going to talk about tonight, right? So what's the number one problem? I think discovery is the biggest issue that we have. I want my channel to be discovered. You go every day and you look, did I go viral yet? Did I go viral yet? To see if one of your video actually hit and you got this million views, but most of the time you don't, right? So the question is, why is that, right? Most people will tell you that the algorithm doesn't trust you yet. Yeah, even good content, you create a video, someone, this is the greatest video I ever made. It will sit there unnoticed, and that's because the algorithm doesn't trust you as a small creator, and therefore, your video does not get pushed out to viewers for them to look at. Only when your video perform, it's a layer. Once you perform one layer, let's say that YouTube sends it out to 100. Depending if you get maybe 10 or 15% of that, they might push it to the next one, 1,000, and then 3,000. So depending how your video perform would depend how much YouTube will push your content out there. So small creator are always going to have a problem with being discovered because of that reason. All you have to do is persistent. And we're going to talk about this. We are just defining the problem right now. We are going to talk about solutions. As a matter of fact, let's do that. Let me do it at the same time, the problem and the solution, because that way it will probably make more sense, right? So how do you fix the discovery problem? It's basically a bottleneck. You post video and they all sit there. Remember, if nobody sees your video, nothing else matters, right? So for that reason, I'm giving you the 10-step blueprint to stop guessing and start growing by giving you a problem and a solution. So you will grow even if you have 0 subscriber and no budget. Okay, so what do you do if you haven't been discovered? The main thing is to focus heavily on titles and thumbnail first. No editing and perfection. Meaning that what? Work on your titles, get it as good as you can, and your thumbnails, and then do the best job that you can on editing and just improve it, a little bit. I said the 1% rule, right? You improve it 1% every time you go out there and you post a video, and eventually you'll get there, right? Make videos around specific searchable and curiosity-driven topic. For me, I also will add, see a problem, add a problem. Like today, we are addressing issues that we as creators have, right? So that's a curiosity-driven topic, but to me, it's a problem. It's a problem-driven topic. So things that are searchable or curiosity-driven. Searchable are things like and I'll speak to that in a few minutes, where you see in other video they have millions of views because people are searching on those topics, or you do a keyword search basically, and the word views, the word thumbnail, the word motivation, things like that comes up, then you say, okay, so let me write a video around that. A study was already working in your niche and recreate it. Don't copy it. Don't reinvent it. Just recreate something similar. That's what we're talking about. So you need to your mind. Don't ask, what do I want to make? Ask, what will make someone click on it right now? And the only way that they will click it is on title or thumbnail. Now, if you want to know a pure example of that, go to Hulu or Netflix and flip through whatever you want to view, and you'll find out you're actually looking at titles and thumbnail. The thumbnail are the little pictures that they show you. And you say, oh, I understand. Why did I click on that video? Well, you probably like the thumbnail and the title. So usually I should have this thing backwards, thumbnail first and title second, because I usually look for like the picture. And if I like the picture, then I go ahead and I click on the title, and I click on the video. So think of Netflix, think of Hulu in relation to what I'm talking about. So what's another problem that you see out there, right, that you have as a small creator? Low income or zero income. Many creators are not monetized yet, or they are earning very little, right? They're making no money, or they're earning very little. What's the problem with that? Well, it limits the ability to reinvest, to buy new gear, editing, or to get help. So that's the biggest issue with making no money. So we're going to talk about, okay, so what's the solution? We all know that if you're not monetized, you're not making any money. So what do? You walk around the low income. You don't need to add revenue to start building a momentum, right? This is what you do. Use free or low cost tools, editing, thumbnail, music. They are there are many. For example, editing, I use DaVinci Resolve, is free. Thumbnail, I use Gemini, is free. Music, I use Google Music, right? This is all free, right? So you want to use things that are free or at low cost, depending on what your budget is. So that's all you need to get started. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need fancy tools. You need something to get you started, right? And there are other tools that you could have if you ever do a tool like for making video clip. Just let me know. Like for example, you could use Meta AI to create clips. Once you let's say you create a video, you create a video, then you create a script using Chat GPT, right? That gives you the video, right? You that will give you also, if you ask for it, which I could show you how to create script for your B-roll, right? You can ask for a script for your B-roll. Then you can use some Meta AI to create clips, and then you put them all together using DaVinci Resolve, and you get yourself a video. Now there are software out there that are free that you could use voiceover. There are many of them. You could just search for them. You could ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will give you a list. So what I'm saying is, you don't need money to do your work. You could do it at low cost or no cost at all. I use mostly free tools for myself, right? So also, what can you do? You can reinforce your skills instead of buying gear, right? Reinforce. What does that mean? The more video that you do, the more skills that you become at using the tools like DaVinci Resolve, uh, free music from YouTube, creating thumbnail. Those are the basic skills that you need. You reinforce those skills, and then when you have money, if you want to, you could buy some gear or get some help, right? So what's another option? Consider early monetization option. What are they? Affiliate links. You could just search affiliate links, and you get a list of them, and they will show you how to get money using affiliate link. They do work. People are using it, and that should be part of your income making uh, enterprise or affiliates or empire, whatever you want to call it. Use free services related to your content. There are things out there that you could get for free. You could get B-roll for free and things of that nature. And I have speak to those in my prior video. I won't give you all of the answers here because the video becomes way too long. But you can get free B-rolls and things of that nature using free services. Simple digital product guides and presets, right? You could monetize using those as well. Reality check. Better storytelling beats expensive equipment every day and twice on Sunday. So learn to tell story. That's one quick way to get to what you need, right? So just a quick summary. You don't need money to get started. You could use free tools. You could build on your skills, and you can monetize using things like affiliate link. That's the way to do it, right? So okay. So what's another situation that we face as a small channel? And this is something that I know I suffer from. So I know every small creator out there suffer from the same thing. Wearing every hat. As creator, we handle everything from filming, editing, thumbnail, SEO, promotion, often while working another job. So think of a person with a whole bunch of hats. That's what you are as a small creator at the beginning. But it gets better. Once you get money, you might be able to outsource some of that stuff for you. But for now, basically, as a small creator, you got to do everything yourself. So, so what's the solution for that? How do you fix that problem, right? So this is a mixed bag, right? The basic advice: simplify your workflow, avoid burnout early. Doing everything is unavoidable, but doing it inefficiently isn't. So doing everything is unavoidable, right? You have to do the SEO, you have to do the thumbnail, blah 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 blah, right? That's gotta get done. But doing it efficiently isn't unavoidable. So what do you do? Now this is the point. The advice is a little bit uh, kind of questionable, right? But it's not. Create a repeatable format, right? Intro, style, structure, editing style, right? So last night I said, if you have a template that you use over and over, you always use the same, you repeat the same intro, and you do the same editing, you probably will get flagged by YouTube, right? So you do want to have some sort of a template that you use that you modify, and you have places where you actually make changes so that it is not the same format every single time. If you were with me last night, I showed you one that I could make changes. And you probably, if you subscribe to my channel and you watch my live show, a lot of time I show the format that I use to start, which is I have a script before the script, so to speak, that I use in order to create a template, and then that template gets dumped into a script creation, right? Another thing that they have about is batching tasks, film multiple videos, edit in blocks. So I actually do multiple clips and I do multiple videos, and I try to, especially for shorts, and I put them on the YouTube and I edit them on block, so to speak. I batch them together. So that helps me stay consistent within the channel. And so that's a good advice. You have to just be careful that you don't become robotic and you don't let AI tool do all the work for you, because that could get you in trouble. The next one is use templates and for thumbnail and description. Once again, that's sort of like 50-50. I do agree that you have to be efficient. I do agree that you have to have a sort of a template, but it cannot be so fixed that you can't change and you generate 1,000 videos with the same template. You have to be able to make modification. One of the rules that I talked about in some of my videos, you have to have at least 30%, up to 70% of the human touch, right? The human in the middle in your work, in order for it not to be tagged by the YouTube algorithm bot, right? You do use template, but you're able to manipulate. But what is all this thing do? What does a template do? What does a batching task do? What is using a repeatable format? It reduces fatigue, not just the workload. If you have something repeatable that you do over and over, and it's working, you have less stress, and it will simplify your workflow, and that's important, right? So you want to be able to do that, right? So let's look at the next problem that we are facing. So the one that's kind of sometimes hard to deal with is inconsistent growth, right? So we do all these things, we overcome the money problem, we overcome the wearing multiple hats, we overcome being discovered, but then we post video and the growth is inconsistent, right? One video might perform okay, the next will flop. There's little stability or predictability and audience behavior, right? You don't know which one would hit, right? all you could do is keep posting, and if you have a former growth, an activity, a way to generate good videos, just keep concentrating on that. Eventually things will level out, right? So although it's inconsistent, things will happen. So don't get discouraged, right? So let's do a couple of solutions, right? How do you deal with inconsistent growth? If you have any idea, drop me a comment. I'd like to see what you have. So random spike and drops are normal at this stage of the game. When you're small, that's just gonna happen. You're not discovered yet. You might make some great videos, but you're not being critically looked at by the algorithm, by your viewers, by your subscriber, right? So don't judge performance over one or two videos, right? Judge performance over 10, 20 videos, and then see what is actually working. And then you double down on whatever topics or format works, the one that get the highest click-through rate and better watch time. You double down on those, right? You create more video on the same subject, right? YouTube has a way for you to create when you're looking at your video, you could create take that idea and expand and create a subsequent video of it. If you never seen me show you how to do that, you are curious about it, drop me a note and I'll write back to you, and I have a video that talks about that. So but that's the way, if you have a video that's working, double down on that. That idea is what you want to follow. It's like a gold mine, right? You find out the golden nuggets, you want to follow that golden nuggets until you get to the mother lode, right? In the same manner, you kill bad ideas, right? If you have a type of video that's underperforming, or it's not consistently performing, you want to get rid of that. And you see, my channel, when I started, I had a range of topics that I wanted to talk about. But as I move forward into this journey, I find that some of the videos I get more consistent view than in others, right? And this is what I want. This is the thought that I want you to have for this. You are running an experiment, not chasing vital hits, right? But what that means is every day you want to be curious about will this work? Like today, right? I was kind of preparing for tonight, and I said something 2 nights ago that goes something like this: see a problem, fix a problem, right? See a need, feel a need. I said, you know what? Maybe that is the quintessential approach to what we are doing here. Is I have this live event that I do. I like to be able to share information that will help other people, right? So what I'm treating my channel as an experiment. I have an idea like I had tonight. I chase it down, right? I chase it down and I share that information with everyone, so you're able to see my successes as well as my failures, because I do have them. So let's move on. Let's move on. We got a couple of views to go tonight, right? So the next one is lack of data clarity, right? What does that mean? What is lack of data clarity? I kept thinking about that. So we all have analytics, right? We know that it does exist. But if you have low traffic in your channel, it is hard to draw meaningful conclusion. Even though you could ask YouTube to analyze your channel and give you some conclusion, and it does. When I started posting on YouTube, and even periodically, I do ask for analytics, or ask YouTube to give me some clarity into, or some information, some meaningful information about my channel. And basically, what information can I glean from what I'm posting on the comments that I'm getting, right? So small data is still meaningful and useful if you read it correctly. There are three things you need to focus on: CTR, click-through rates, which means are people interested? That's when they look at your title and your thumbnail, right? That's what that means, right? And the next one is average view duration. This is the main one when it comes to getting watch hours. Average view duration, meaning what? Are they staying watching your video, right? So, for example, if you ever look at analytics, you'll find out some of your videos, you start 100%, and then within 5 seconds, it dropped to 90, 98. Within 10 seconds, it dropped to 80. Within 15 seconds, it dropped to maybe 70% or 50%. And that's what it means, right? You want to get the people to have the average duration to be as high as possible, because that speaks to retention, right? Retention. Now, what will happen if they're staying on? Like, for example, what will happen if you get click-through rate, which is high, an average view duration, which is also high? Then it comes the next one, which is impression. Because remember what I said earlier, YouTube only send out, like if you have 1,000 subscribers, they might send it to 1,000 people, including your subscriber, and test your video. If, for example, none of your subscribers click on your video, right? That means your impression will be 0. But if they click on it, then basically YouTube will give you more impression. Maybe more impression, think of it as opportunity, right? And YouTube will give you 1,000 opportunities to start and test your video to see if anybody's interested, to see if they click on it, and to see if they stay on it, right? If you get, let's say 10 or 15%, I don't know what the right ratio is. Let's say you get 20%, because I know 20% would work. Then they'll send it out to another 1,000 people, or maybe 3,000 people, right? So that's how you see that some videos, they pick up steam over time. That's why we say never delete your video, because sometimes it takes YouTube a little bit of time to get through it and get it to where you need to be, right? So, for example, again, three things to focus on: click-through rate, are people interested? Average view duration, are they staying watching your video to the end or as much as possible? Impression, is YouTube testing your video, right? So the favorite topic, which I talked about the other day, which was shadow banning. People were saying, "Whoa, my YouTube is not sending out my video; they're shadow banning me." And that's what I mean. If they were shadow banning you, you'll be getting like 0 impression. You'll be able to post, everything will work, but they will not push it out. Like, for example, you have to be careful with this. If you have copyright violation, right, that hasn't been adjudicated, YouTube may limit the number of impressions that they send out until you resolve that issue. So if you have any, always look at your channel. If you have any copyright violation, you want to resolve them as quickly as possible, because that will limit the number of impression or so-called opportunities that YouTube will send out to test your video. So real focus again, 3 metrics to concentrate on: click-through rate, CTR, average view duration, and impression, right? The simple rule: low CTR, the way you fix it is by changing the title and the thumbnail. Low retention, you fix by content pacing, that is editing. So your retention is low, you have to be able to look at your video and see what's slow. And if you look at the retention, you'll be able to see the video over time. And you want to spend time at the beginning of the video, the first 2 or 3 minutes of your video. You want to make sure that it's sharp, that it's well put together. That way, basically, there's no issue, and you get longer retention in your video, right? So that's what you got for that's how you use analytics to your favor, right? So what's next? Sometimes even today, it's like, oh, I had to get motivated on my YouTube work. I either had to have a live show, I had to post shorts, I had to edit some of the work that I just did the night before, and it could become overwhelming. And especially if you're not getting money, especially if your videos are inconsistent. Sometimes you say like, "Oh my Lord, what are we doing here?" So the key here is you set an output goal, right? Let's say I want to do 2 videos per week, not outcome goal, right? No, not like, for example, I'm going to get 1,000 views that you cannot control, or 1,000,000 views that you cannot control. You can control how many videos you could put out per week. You cannot control how many views you get per week. You could have ideas, or you could have idealized goal that you would like to get those like that, but you can only control your output, right? It's to tracking, not just view, right? Expand low growth for the 50, 100 videos. I mean, not expected, right? So basically, it's going to be a while before you are able to see results, right? So it's going to be some slow growth, and you could feel discouraged. You might be leaning to quitting. Many people do quit before gaining traction, right? So the issue there is don't quit. I mean, eventually you'll get there. If you track your progress, you see with each video that you post in, you'll be able to see you as you get better. You'll be able to get, oh, I got a 1 subscriber today. Oh, I got 3 subscribers. Oh, I got 5 subscribers today. So as you improve in your video, right? As you improve your video, the quality of video, you'll be able to see progress. You'll be able to see subscriber. You'll be able to see views. Views will turn into watch hours. So you have to be able to do that. Just remember um, what counts for what. Like, for example, short do not count for watch hours, right? So the goal initially is to get subscriber. A lot of short will help you with that. But if you want to get watch hours, which is the biggest thing that we all face, all small channel face, is you have to have long videos and you have to have live event like this one, right? So you want to just know exactly what you're facing, right? So if you started from zero, you say, okay, my first goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, which is easily done. But my suggestion to you is don't forget to worry about watch hours. Now, you could get watch hours if you post long videos, because I know some of us like to do faceless videos, right? Or have a faceless channel. But sometimes, unless you get really good at doing videos and you get like 100 videos that are all performing very high, you may not get the watch hours alone. So you may have to do some other means. So for me, my advice to that one is don't depend upon one type of event. Like, for example, do shorts to get subscriber, do live event to get watch hours, and do long video that go along with that. So you could start with long video, you could clip that into shorts, right? So that you get a 2-for-1 there. And then you could take the content that you speak during your live event and you could turn that into a video. So for me is I do a live event, I create a video out of that, then I clip that video and I make shorts out of them, right? So I have the whole spectrum covered when it comes to production by having one event. So that my workflow is live event, video, clip the video to create shorts, right? And then you post those. And then you have an ecosystem that allows you to do that, right? But I don't have a specific goal. I just know that because the way that I do it, every day I post a short, and almost every day I have a live event. But you can make it weekly. You don't have to do it every day, right? But the key is to track your improvement and expect a slow growth the first 50 to 100 videos, because that's what's happened to me. Let me be blunt. Consistency be talent early on and every day, right? If you are consistent on the approach that I gave you, live show, video, to clip shorts, you'll be able to consistently be someone that may have more talent that only posts one video per month because they want to be perfect, right? So you have to be careful with that. So that's the deal there, right? That's the deal. Okay, let's move on to where most of us are still in. I know that I am. It's called the skill building phase. No matter how many stories I tell, I always feel like I'm in perpetual learning how to tell stories, learning how to edit, learning how to pace, learning how to do branding and audience targeting. Some of those are very difficult, and the only way to learn is to actually do them, right? So I'm a small, like if you're a small creator, I always go in the skill building phase. You have to do yourself. So there's no walking around, there's no sugarcoating it. That's what you have to do, right? So what do? You improve quicker by focusing, not multitasking everything, right? So what do? Each video, each skill, you improve either the hook, the storytelling, the editing, and I try to do that every now. I try to figure out before I go to my live event, what can I improve tonight? What can I do differently than I did last time, right? Sometimes, like for example, and then most of the one that I had before, I have music, right? Well, tonight I don't have any music. But guess what? I'll go ahead and I'll add some music now because in reality, that's the way to go, right? But I figured out having music on the background is something that you want to have. But sometimes you get caught up in multitasking and you forget. But you want to improve one skill, either your hook has to be better. And I'm gonna add curiosity loops to the hook, right? Because the hook is at the beginning. You do want to have curiosity loop in the middle of your video, and you want to have a CTA loop, right? A close call to action loop, right? At the end, right? Not just subscribe. You want to have a call to action as part of what you're doing. Okay, so. And one of the key things that I didn't want to do, sometimes it's hard to do, is to watch your video critically, right? Like for example, when I started doing live event, my lighting was completely off. I said, "Oh Lord!" So how to solve that problem? I had no music. Okay, so I learned how to put music, do music in the background. I didn't know how to manage my thumbnail with my video, so I kind of learned how to do that. The point is that you improve every day one event, and before you know it, you become an expert at what you're trying to do, right? So is there a way to shortcut that? I keep asking myself. Yes, it is. You can copy the structure from videos that hold your attention. So I look at other YouTube videos, like today I look at Mr. Beast. I love Mr. Beast. That guy's amazing. Obviously, I'm not to that level, but I do look at his video and I say, wow, that grabbed my attention the way he does it. And I look at the other small creator and say, oh, you know what? That was a very good event, very good put together video. So I don't copy 100% what they do. I kind of learn from that and basically try to create some of the information on my video, right? So that's basically what I do. Try to improve by 1% every time, and that's the way to do it, right? So let's move on. What's another problem that I've seen happen to a lot of us, especially to me? It's called limit audience loyalty. That's a big problem, right? So viewers aren't deeply invested yet. Like, for example, even though you post a video, you have a random person that subscribes to your channel. You say, great, I have 100 subscribers, I have 1,000 subscribers. You expect them to come to your channel every time you post a video. But the problem is, we post all the time, right? And you will find out that they don't show up every single time. Now, remember earlier I talked about that if your video is not, your channel does not post cohesive video, meaning in the same niche, in the same topic. Like, for example, let's say you have a food channel, YouTube channel, right? And you post about food items every single time. That is being consistent and consistently staying within your niche. But if you post one day about food and the next day about cars, the next day about airplane, then you are providing the algorithm and your viewer a confused way to know what you're about, right? So they may be interested in food, but they're not interested in airplane, they're not interested in cars, right? So that's why your viewer may not be consistently and deeply invested on you yet, right? So retention and repeat views are harder to obtain. So that's something you have to focus on. The question becomes, what do? You want every single person to subscribe to your channel to come back. Well, even a small audience can become loyal. This is what you do. You reply to every comment early on. Like I do premiere video, right? I try to do premiere video, and I'll explain that for a minute. My thing, I want to be sure that we get as much watch hours as possible. So premiere is like a live event on YouTube. So I try to look at the premiere when it's going on, and then basically if there are comments, I reply to them right away. And if I miss it, I'll look at my comments and I go back and I reply to them right away, right? So early on, you want to be making comment. You want to ask questions in the video. Like, for example, when it starts, remember, first you want to premiere the video. And when the video starts, you want to ping a question to it to help other people answer that question and get engaged into what's going on. Now, you want to speak directly to a specific type of viewers, right? That's the key, right? So reply to every comment, ask question in the video by pinging the question, and speak directly to a specific viewer. By doing that, you will turn your viewers into a repeat watchers faster than if you just let things roll, right? So you want people to come back to your channel over and over again. And that's what needs to happen, right? Now, remember we talked about no money coming in, right? Another thing that you would not get most likely, unless you get lucky and you pursue it, is called brand deals, right? The sponsor usually ignore a small channel unless they have a strong niche. There are some people that have a strong niche, and subscribers will flock to it. I know sport people, they like sports and stuff like that. So what do? You make yourself attracted to brand in the early stages. You don't need huge number, you need a clear niche. Define your audience clearly, who you help or entertain, right? create a content that signal the niche consistently. Reach out to a small brand directly, right? So, believe it or not, that is kind of not easy to do. Early on, when I looked at my information, it took me a while to define my niche, to define my audience, and to decide who I was serving the information that I was posting to. Who was but I kind of narrowed it down by writing it down until I was able to create that picture in my mind of my audience. And then now, when I look at the analytics, I know who am I writing to. Although I could see that is shifting from time to time. So you have to be able to stay with your analytics and see what's going on, right? And you have to be consistent in your views, right? So you have to target those audiences and see what you can do for them. Like, for example, by looking at analytics, you're able to look at the age of your subscriber, right? And basically you do that. Now, this is something that is hard to talk about, but as you know, YouTube does kind of kill some channels. So we are all platform dependent, right? And there's a risk to that, right? If our growth stall, there's no backup plan for income. Audiences elsewhere. So if you're dependent on YouTube 100%, and let's say for whatever reason you violate the guidelines and you lose your channel, all the income that you were making is gone. So you cannot take what you have here and send it someplace else unless you have a strategy to do that from the beginning. And there are other channels, other platforms that are out there that you can use. You know the name, I don't need to kind of perpetuate their name. But we are YouTubers. We are going to do things correctly and then stay here and protect our income as it comes. So you need to be aware that there is a risk. Every day there is a risk of being demonetized, things of that nature, right? So one of the things that it is recommended, don't build everything in a single platform. You know what that means, I don't have to explain it. Start collecting emails and building community like Discord. It's completely outside what we do, but if you build a community there, that's going to be protected. Repurpose content to other platforms. I'm able to restream to at least 2 or 3 platforms. So I do that for certain contents to sort of spread my risk to some degree. You want to build a recognizable identity beyond just video. In the case of Mr. Beast, he sells chocolate, for crying out loud. I saw one of his videos today how he made the chocolate and stuff like that. But the point is, I'm quite sure that if he doesn't have YouTube, the chocolate factory is not going to be his identity. But at the end of the day, right, he's showing you how to diversify what you do, right? So core strategy for most small channel, you don't grow by making more content, right? You grow by making better packages, better targeted content consistently. That's the key. If you want, tell me more in the comment section about your niche and how many videos you have posted. And I can give you a more tailored strategy instead of a generic advice like I'm doing tonight. Hopefully this was very helpful to you. Hopefully it will get you to where you need to be, and it will help you grow your channel. With that, I said good night.